Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Javed Ali from Department of Pharmaceutics, Faculty of Pharmacy, Jamia Hamdard. And today we are going to discuss about a module which is going to deal with the stability of cosmetic products under paper cosmetics. In the present module, we are going to talk about the journal stability of a cosmetic product. The stability and the physical integrity of cosmetic products under appropriate condition of storage, transport and use. Physical stability of cosmetic products is also we are going to talk about, including the chemical stability of emulsions. Physical chemical stability testing, what are the various temperature variation, centrifuge testing, light exposure testing and mechanical shock testing. The microbiological stability testing, that is the various screening tests and the quantitative tests used for microbiological studies. Packaging stability tests like leakage tests, glass tests, weight loss tests, and designing of stability study and prediction of shelf life. Coming to the general stability of a cosmetic product, the stability study of cosmetic product is done to ensure that the final product meets its physical, chemical, microbiological, and other functionalities and aesthetic when stored under appropriate conditions. Various tests as per the guideline that should be done under controlled, accelerated, or the real-time condition in order to assure the stability and physical integrity of the cosmetic product under appropriate condition of storage, transport and use, chemical stability and the microbiological stability, and the compatibility between the product and the packaging which is employed. Stability and physical integrity of cosmetic products under appropriate conditions of storage, transport and use. Cosmetic products are generally emulsion formulations. However, suspensions, powders, cream, lotions, solid lipid nanoparticle gels are also part of it. Emulsions are generally unstable system. They undergo spontaneous change after preparation. Cosmetics should have a good shelf life, as cosmetics are used in different climatic conditions at different place where wide variation temperature is there. So it should undergo stability studies including physical appearance, odor and other changes which can happen during storage. When you talk of the physical stability of the cosmetic products, cosmetic emulsion is said to be stable if there is no coalescence, sedimentation, creaming and flocculation. Formulation should look elegant with respect to appearance, color, odor and other physical attributes. Common physical instability is faced due to gravitational separation, which includes sedimentation, creaming and coalescence. This instability is due to the process of diffusion. Smaller droplets combine with a larger one where thermodynamic potential is lower. With time, emulsion becomes larger in size and hence rheological behavior of the emulsion changes with change in the size of the droplet. Coming to the factors which is related to the physical stability of emulsion, it is governed by Stokes' law. Viscoelastic properties have marked effect in the consumer perception of various attributes. And the physical stability of emulsion is an important aspect where the velocity of sedimentation of the dispersed droplet is inversely proportional to the viscosity of the external phase and directly proportional to the gravitational constant, the diameter of the dispersed droplet, and the density difference between dispersed phase and the continuous phase. Hence, emulsion stabilization can be achieved by the two major type of the techniques, increasing the viscosity of the external phase and decreasing the particle size and obtaining a uniform particle size distribution of the dispersed phase. Factors related to the physical stability of emulsion. The emulsion stabilization can be achieved by increasing the viscosity of the external phase. You know Stokes' law, and there is a inverse relationship which exists between the viscosity and the rate of settling of particles. When the viscosity is higher, the rate of settling is also lowered and the stability is more. These can be achieved by using natural or synthetic hydrocolloids, polymers, or inorganic thickeners. For example, hydroxypropyl methylcellulose, ionic polymers of acrylic acid, polysaccharides like acacia, carrageenan, guar gum, xanthan gum, locust bean gum, and alginates. The stability can also be increased by decreasing the particle size. Surfactants play major role in stabilizing the cream, and it cover the interface and prevent particle-particle interaction. Chemical stability of emulsion, when we talk about, the ingredients generally used in cosmetics are organic compounds, and they have different functional groups like alcohol, aldehyde, esters, phenol, mercaptans, ether, etc. And they are degraded through oxidation, photolysis, racemization, complexation, and whatnot. These degradation pathways are inhibited through adjusting the pH or retarding the rate of hydrolysis and oxidation by using antioxidants, use of chelating agent to prevent inactivation of preservatives and oxidation of unsaturated compounds, and the appropriate use of containers and closures for protection against hydrolysis. Various physical and chemical stability tests, which includes mechanical shock testing, is done to ensure the stress bearing capacity of the cosmetic like stress to temperature extremes and light. The test includes the temperature variations. Accelerated stability test under stress condition is generally done to predict the shelf life and the long-term stability. For cosmetic product, companies perform temperature stress tests at 37 degrees Celsius and 45 degrees Celsius. A product stored for 3 months at 45 degrees Celsius shows stability. Then it is assumed that product will be stable at room temperature for 2 years. Stability test at minus 10 degrees Celsius should also be done for 3 months. Cycle testing, 3 cycles of temperature testing ranges from minus 10 to 25 degrees Celsius is done. If there is no change in the physical appearance of the product, then it indicates positive result for the stability of the product. Storing products at minus 10 degrees Celsius for 24 hours and then storing it at 25 degrees Celsius for 24-hour complete one cycle. This process is repeated for 2 more times, and more rigorous testing includes temperature range of minus 10 to 45 degrees Celsius for 5 cycles. If the test is passed, then cosmetic product, especially emulsion cream, is very stable. Centrifuge testing, if the dispersed phase is separated from dispersion media and form a layer at the top of the emulsion, then this phenomenon is called as creaming. Creaming is a sign of unstable emulsion. Centrifugation is a technique to predict instability of the emulsion. Cosmetic is heated at 50 degrees Celsius and then centrifuged at 3000 rpm for 30 minutes. Product is then observed for any sign for creaming. Light exposure testing. Formulation and packaging containers can be sensitive to UV radiation. Light exposure testing is done in order to ensure that the product is not degraded and its effect is not lost. It becomes more important in case of creams containing drug. In this testing, product is placed in the marketed container and in glass, and another glass jar covered with aluminum foil is placed in the window, which serve as control. If the product is discolored due to fragrance or any light sensitive ingredient, then UV absorber, for example 0.1% benzophenone, is added. The mechanical shock testing is also done to protect the cosmetic product and packaging from damage during transportation. Vibration test on pallet shaker can be done to show if demixing during shaking can occur. For the above mentioned test, Particle size, distribution, color, odor, particle aggregation, viscosity, and the pH is also monitored. Under microbiological stability testing, screening test, and quantity test is done. Cosmetics are in contact with skin for a long time period, so it should meet high standard of microbiological quality. All cosmetic products should not be contaminated with pathogens like E. coli, P. organosa, S. aureus, Candida albicans, Aspergillus, and so on, in order to save from the contaminated products, which can cause physical and chemical changes such as physical separation of faces, discoloration, gas and odor formation, and changes in the rheological properties of emulsions. There are two different ways by which creams can be contaminated by microbes. First is during formulation procedure itself, and second by consumer itself. Microbial contamination should be prevented so that product meets safety, quality, and the therapeutic action. Screening test is done, which is rapid and simple test and used to determine whether the product is free from microbial contamination or not. Dip slides or plate counts gives qualitative results. Small sample of creams are inoculated into media suitable for the growth of microbes. Generally, broth is employed to recover bacteria and to recover yeast and molds. Turbidity of the sample is used to determine whether there is a bacterial growth or not. But creams are itself turbid, so growth is observed by plating them on modified agar. Malt extract agar containing 40 ppm chlorotetracycline or acidified potato dextrose agar. If no growth is observed at screening test, then the sample is not further tested. If growth is observed, then serial dilution of the cream sample is prepared in enrichment media. Plate count are also done. Samples are serially diluted, and each dilution is spread on the agar plate. Plates are then put to incubate. The colonies of microorganisms obtained are counted per gram of sample. The dilution is also used to test the presence of yeast and mold in the cream. For this, malt agar extract is mixed with 40 parts per million. Chlorotetracycline or potato dextrose agar adjusted to pH of 3.5. Presence of colony after incubation gives positive test for fungus. Quantitative test is used to determine the actual number of microorganisms in a cosmetic product. Test should be performed only by the professional microbiological testing laboratories. Direct colony counts and enrichment culturing are the methods employed for isolating microorganisms. Enrichment and identification, both for gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, can be identified by this method. Serial dilution of sample is plated on the broth and is incubated. Dilution showing growth is streaked on both modified agar and other media. Distinct colonies are then stained to find gram-positive and gram-negative. And there are variety of ways to determine number of bacteria in a sample: by total population count, direct method. Phase contrast microscopy is utilized to calculate total population of microorganisms. However, bacteria present in clump is not counted individually, so counted number is often less than the actual value. Total population count, indirect method. Turbidity of the sample is used to determine quantitatively the amount of microorganism in the sample, but this method is not for solid sample like cream, as its preparation is itself turbid. Viable counts are done. The above two methods are to calculate non-viable and the viable organism. If viable or microorganism is to be calculated, then this method is utilized. Here, serial dilution of bacteria is made and is placed on growth media and is incubated. Growth of bacteria is supposed to start from one viable bacteria. Colonies are then counted and is reported as colony forming unit, represented by CFU. Plate count procedure is also used, where the different methods are used to employ for plate counting of bacteria like pour plate, overlay plate, and surface count. Sample is suspended in molten agar, which is then poured in empty Petri plate or on another solid agar media. Main advantages of this media is that colonies are not clumped and individual colonies can be counted easily. But main disadvantage of this method is that agar gets solidified while pouring in another plate, and sometimes agar is hot enough to kill bacteria. Then there are turbidity measurements available. Optical density of the sample is noted, which becomes turbid due to presence of bacteria. Higher the turbidity, higher will be the concentration of microorganism and higher will be the optical density. But putting optical density on the y-axis against the concentration on the log x-axis, a plot is prepared. And from the straight line plot, viable cell counts can be counted. Packaging stability test, which incorporates the leakage test, glass test, and the weight loss test. As finished product is in direct contact with packaging material, so any interaction between product and the packaging material should be observed. Ingredient used in formulating cosmetics may interact with containers and closures, which can lead to degradation of the product. Containers are also not fully protected from adverse effect of the external environment. Conditions like atmospheric oxygen, water vapor, or essential oils, including other fragrances, being volatile, may evaporate through the container. Glass test. Glass being inert do not interact with cosmetic product, so this property of glass is utilized to check whether container or product itself is responsible for its degradation. Weight loss test for finding out any evaporation of volatile material or water from the product to the container or closure weight loss test is helpful. Duration of this test is 3 months and is done at room temperature at 45 degrees Celsius. This loss in weight should not be more than 1% per month for the acceptability of the package. Leaking tests are also done. Packaging product is kept at various orientations like upright, inverted, or its sides to observe whether package is leaking, especially during transport. How we design a stability study. Generally, 50 degrees Celsius or higher temperature is generally used for studying accelerated stability test. But stability study at 37 degrees Celsius, 42 degrees Celsius, or 45 degrees Celsius have also been done in literature. For the pharmaceutical product, 40 degrees Celsius at 75% RH is given in the ICH guidelines. Common observation in high stress tests include observing the physical changes like separation, sedimentation, aggregation, blooming, sweating, gelling, evaporation, solidification, softening, cracking, etc. Chemical changes include color changes, there may be a fragrance change or staining, etc. Accelerated stability study is done to predict stability and the shelf life of the product at accelerated condition of temperature, moisture, and light. If the test passes, then the product is supposed to be stable under normal storage condition. Common high stress during stability testings. Stability issues in the product produced on large scale. Problems are encountered during large scale production of products such as separation of the faces, change in viscosity, change in color, shades, etc. And hence the following points must always be kept. Variation in the lot of raw materials, variation during processing conditions like change in temperature, shear, way of addition, production time, variation during filling, cooling, shear, vibration, etc. And the product quantity manufactured, batch of 1 kg, a batch of 100 kg, or a batch of 1000 kg. Shelf life can be defined as a time period during which a product is retain its original quality. Arrhenius equation is employed, which gives the shelf life of value for rate constant of chemical reaction. Shelf life study should be done in container in which the product is finally marketed. And steps involved in shelf life determination includes product is in the original container and closure and is put at different temperatures such as 20, 30 and 40 degrees Celsius to accelerate the degradation, and samples at different time point, that is 0, 1, 3 and 6 months is withdrawn, and remaining concentration of the active ingredient is determined. Order of a reaction, whether the product follows zero, first, or second order, or maybe a mixed order, is determined by any suitable method. For example, in case of graphical method, appropriate function of concentration is plotted against time to find which order of reaction gives a linear relationship, and the slope of the straight line gives the degradation rate constant, that is the K value. Next, Arrhenius equation is employed to calculate rate constant at 25 degrees Celsius, and a graph between log K and absolute temperature is plotted from where K25 is obtained. K25 is then placed in an appropriate rate equation to get the shelf life of the product. There are a large number of limitations of the accelerated stability studies. Order of reaction may differ in actual and accelerated testing. Product, which is thermolabile, including proteins, methyl cellulose, degrades in accelerated testing. Ointments and suppositories melt at higher temperature during stability testing. If degradation of the product is due to the freezing temperature, microbial contamination, or agitation, then accelerated condition cannot predict these changes. If activation energy of thermal decomposition is between 10 to 30 kilocalories per mole, then only stability prediction based on Arrhenius equation is valid. Certain products may be stable at room temperature but may not be stable at accelerated condition, so actual information may not be obtained. Cream emulsions may appear more stable at a higher temperature, so stability testing fail over here. Cream base an emulsion in nature and it contains water, so active pharmaceutical ingredients are more prone to degradation via hydrolysis. Dilutions of ointments and creams, when untested diluents, can further lead to instability problem. It has been found that when betamethasone valuate cream is diluted with cream base of neutral to alkaline pH, then it leads to conversion of 17 ester to less active 21 ester. Similarly, dilution of fluocinolone acetate with oxidizing agent can cause its degradation to less active compound. When gels are incorporated with drug, then it can unstabilize the formulation. Penicillin G has been found to degrade in hydrogel of natural and semi-synthetic polymer. So student, let us summarize what we have learned in this module. We have talked about the general stability of cosmetic products, which covers physical, chemical, and microbiological stability. The physical stability of emulsion is governed by Stokes' law, and hence the major two techniques is the viscosity modification and the particle size decrease. Chemical cosmetic product is degraded by oxidation, photolysis, racemization, complexation, depending upon the functional group present in the ingredient. And for pharmaceutical product, 40 degrees Celsius at 75% RH temperature and humidity conditions are specified respectively as per the ICH guidelines for stability testing. Shelf life of the product is predicted by calculation, which is based on Arrhenius equation. Thank you.